session. My name is Natalie. It's still winter here in Southern Ontario because it is still January, and we had some more snow and cold temperatures move in last night, and the roads aren't great for driving, and gardening feels a long way off. But today's a fun day because I got some seeds in the mail and I'm going to open them today because, quite frankly, I can't even remember what I actually ordered. So we're going to have some fun seeing what seeds I'm going to be planting new this year, what seeds I am never planting again, and we're going to have some fun dreaming of the garden even though it's pretty cold, blustery, and snowy outside. So before I open the packages, I did pick up some seeds just in the store here in Ontario. I picked them up in Canadian Tire because, you know, I was walking through there, it was cold and blustery, and I just needed the hope of some beautiful flowers and some delicious fresh vegetables. So I picked up some seed packets. So what did I get? Well, the first thing I got that I'm kind of excited about is this one. So those of you who've been following me know I'm having an ongoing battle with blight. It might not even be blight with my tomatoes, it might be leaf spot. I have to take a closer look this year. Regardless, it's a fungal infection. We have a very wet area here, and we've had two very wet and cool summers the past 2 years. My tomatoes have not done well. The blight or leaf spot has really taken over. So this year I'm going to be trying some new things to try and stave it off. Now last year I did get a harvest. Some of my tomato plants did give me some tomatoes, and I did manage to freeze some for soup. I didn't have enough to can. This year I want to do better. So this first package is something I'm very excited about. I saw this in the store. It's from Mackenzie Seeds, and it's called Tomato Subarctic Plenty. Now, the thing that got me excited when I read this was the days to harvest down in the bottom, which are an incredible 40 to 59. 40 days from transplant. I mean, that's amazing. That's just a little over a month. So I'm thinking maybe I can outrun the blight this year as one of my strategies and see if maybe I can get them to grow and set before anything can really damage them too much. They are an heirloom, so I can save the seeds. So if they do well, I definitely will be saving the seeds. So I'm very excited about this. This is a slicing tomato. Apparently it's quite prolific, and someone in the comments, when I mentioned this, when I was talking about seed packets and what information they give you, what information they don't, someone mentioned that they've grown these as well and that they did really well for them. So I'm extremely excited about my new battle against the blight with Subarctic Plenty tomatoes. While I was in the store too, it's not that I need more pepper seeds, truly, but I couldn't resist this bell mixed color. Now, I had a package originally of mixed bell color seeds, and over the years I've used them all up, and I did get a nice mixture. Yellows and oranges, greens, blacks, and then the greens would turn to red. So I kind of wanted some more, so I couldn't resist. I picked up just basic sweet bell peppers, but in mixed colors. And because I truly don't need any more peppers, I bought more pepper seeds. But these are long red cayenne slim. So I thought, well, I do use cayenne pepper in my pepper seasoning mix. And so I like to grow vegetables I know I'm going to use, and this has a practical use for me because I will hopefully harvest them, dehydrate them in my dehydrator, and then be able to actually use the cayenne pepper in my cooking. So I thought, well, this is a practical purchase and that's why I got the cayenne pepper, because I haven't planted cayenne, I don't believe. I plant jalapeno, I plant Hungarian hot wax, I have some royal black, which are a very hot pepper, but I haven't grown cayenne. So cayenne peppers. Sweet corn. Those of you following my channel know I did not have success with my sweet corn last year. Again, I have two problems with sweet corn. When I had the old garden, the garden that the people who owned the house before me originally built, it was in a different spot and it was fenced, which was great. But the problem is the 3 big trembling aspen that I have in the backyard, they would shade that garden by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I like the spot where my new garden is, but of course the soil where I've moved it to is still pretty raw because we've had to cut down the invasive reeds and all the weeds. So the corn grew really well in the old garden. I haven't had much luck in this garden, and the other problem is the seeds keep getting eaten. I don't know whether it's by birds or voles or moles or chipmunks or squirrels or whatever. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to tackle that this year, whether I'm going to be growing corn in a raised bed if I get the other 3 beds put in, whether I should start them ahead of time, which I've never really seen anybody do. I don't know if they like to be transplanted. I might do an experiment. Grow a few from seed, transplant them as a plant, then at least the birds and the critters won't be eating the seed, but I don't know. Maybe I'll experiment. Anyway, I picked up 2 different varieties. So the first one is peaches and cream, and we just love the bicolored corn. It's so sweet and delicious. So it's just a regular peaches and cream bicolor. And then this one is a different seed company. It's Livingston. And I picked it because it was called Double Sweet. There's nothing better than sweet corn. So I thought, I'll try this one, see which one does better. It's also a bicolor. Hopefully this year we can have some homegrown sweet corn. And the other one I picked up in the store is just for fun, and it's a Morning Glory. Now I have good luck with the Morning Glories, and now that my new gate is in, I didn't plant any last year because we were redoing the garden gate, but this year this is such an unusual looking one. I just love the color on it. So Morning Glory Blue Picote. It's just for fun, just for some beauty, and I'm excited to see this beautiful color with the white on the edges. So those I picked up in the store. But I did order some seeds from 2 new companies to me, only because they had what I was looking for. The first one is Salt Spring Seeds. Now they're out in British Columbia, BC, on Salt Spring Island. So let's see. Let's see what I bought, because I don't remember. I remember one thing. I know why I went there originally. Here we go. Okay. And this is the reason that I went to Salt Spring Seeds, and that's for these Darlene pea. Now, again, I like to make sure that whatever I grow, I use, and I make homemade yellow split pea soup. And I used to buy split or pea soup anyway in a can, and the company stopped making it. And the other version of French Canadian pea soup that we can buy in the stores here, I don't like. It's mushy. I don't enjoy it. I really miss the one because it was so convenient, but I'm going to have to just make more of my own, and for that I need yellow peas. French Canadian pea soup is made with yellow peas. It's a comfort food for me, warm and creamy. So I researched which are the best peas for making yellow pea soup. And this one came highly recommended. Darlene pea. It's a bush variety and creamy tan round seeds, and it was recommended for pea soup. So I'm going to grow these yellow peas for soup, and I'm very excited about it. They should be easy to dry, like I've done with my kidney beans and my pea beans for baked beans. So that is why I went to this company, because they had the type that was recommended for this soup. But I picked up some other stuff while I was there, because why not? What was it? Marion rutabaga. Now I have a love-hate going with growing rutabagas. Now, they will grow in my garden, but I find that I have a lot of problems with pests with them, and they don't always grow large. But this is supposed to be high yielding, bug free, frost tolerant. So I thought I'd try this type. This is a different variety of rutabaga, and I do love them. So I also love them. I love them in soups, and I love them mashed with carrots. So these are direct in the garden, so I don't have to start these ahead of time. Oh, another tomato. Pollock. This is a medium tomato. I think I bought this because it was on sale. Who can resist a bargain? So I don't see the, it doesn't say how many days to harvest, but it is early again, productive, good cores, 4 to 10 ounce, and it must be indeterminate because it says the tomatoes keep coming and coming. So here, this is a different strategy for blight. Maybe if the blight sort of strikes the early plant, it will keep growing. It won't just give up being a determinate. It'll be indeterminate. It'll just keep trying to grow, and maybe I'll have luck with this one too. I thought I would try another tomato. So Pollock medium tomatoes. And one more thing, I don't even know why I ordered this, but this is the Rosa de Milano onion. So this is a red onion. I've never actually grown red onions before. In my mind, red onions are often eaten raw, and I don't eat raw onions, so don't even ask me why I'm growing these, except they're pretty and they're supposed to be great for storage. So I thought, oh, just for some variety, I'll grow some red onions. So even though I'm not going to eat them raw, I think it'll be fun to grow red, as well as the Stuttgarter Riesen onions that I grow, which I'm so happy with and last almost all winter for me. So we'll see how these do. Okay, so that was from Salt Spring Seeds. Then I bought some from the Incredible Seed Company. They're in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I can't remember why I ordered these either, but let's have a look and see. I had to get some scissors to open this package. I wanted to be careful not to cut open the seeds. All right, what did I buy? Oh my goodness, oh yes, okay. Well, let's start with the vegetables. So I bought a new kind of cabbage seed. This is called Copenhagen Market. I think I liked the sound of them, that they don't split as easily. So I usually plant, oh, my seeds are in here. I forget the cabbage I normally plant, I think is, oh, I've taken it out. The cabbage I normally plant is something acre, green acre, golden acre. And I have good luck with growing them. They're beautiful, but they do tend to split on me if we have a heavy rain when they're a bit bigger. And when I read that these have some resistance to splitting, I thought I will try them. I'll probably grow some of the others as well and do half and half and see how the Copenhagen Market cabbage does compared to the golden acre or green acre cabbage seeds. Then I bought, now this was just on a whim. This is alpine strawberry seeds. Okay, I've never grown strawberries from seed before. I always buy the bare root or the plant. But this one really intrigued me. Now we have wild strawberries that grow around the 8th concession here, but of course they're tiny and the birds and the animals get them anyway, but they're like super tiny. This is sort of, I think from the description, in between the big market size strawberries and the really tiny wild strawberries. But it says that the taste of them is so incredible that, and that they can even produce berries in its first year, and very, very sweet. So I thought it would be fun for me to sort of challenge myself to see how easy or hard it will be to grow strawberry plants from seed. I suspect that the plants won't be very large, so I might even put them in pots or hanging baskets rather than in the garden where my other ones are. It's an ever-bearing, so I'm going to see how that goes. This is more of an experiment. Speaking of experiments, I've always wanted a beautiful flowering crabapple, and while I do get a gift certificate each year from my mother-in-law for a local nursery, and they do have crab apples, because they're larger, they're more expensive, and I kind of have my eye on something else this year to use my gift certificate on. So they actually had prairie crabapple seeds, tree seeds. Now, again, anyone who's been following, you know the disaster I had with trying to grow seeds the last time. Not that I didn't do it correctly, but I left or forgot about my tree seeds in the fridge. They germinated in the fridge. They were just supposed to stratify in the fridge. They germinated, and by the time I planted them, they were already dying. So it was my own fault. But I really want to try growing this crabapple. Now, it will take a long time before it's big enough to flower, but that's okay. It will be fun. I've had some luck with apple seeds. I actually planted 2 seedlings of apple trees that I grew just from some apples, but I planted them around the pond, and I have a feeling that the weeds encroached and they didn't survive. I'll have to see this spring, because I did tie a blue ribbon on them so I could find them again. But I know I can do it, so I thought it would be fun to grow my own crabapple. And seeing as I was ordering from this company anyway, I thought, okay, prairie crabapple, it's supposed to have beautiful pink flowers. It would look so lovely next to my greenhouse. So that's what they are. All right, another tree seed. I didn't really realize I'd bought another one, but this is the Cape Myrtle tree. Now this is a perennial. It's a flowering tree with long-lasting midsummer blooms, and that's the thing I liked about it. There are lots of trees we can find around here that bloom beautifully in the spring, but in midsummer, and the pictures were gorgeous with beautiful pink blooms. Trees can reach 20 feet tall. So I'm gonna have to find a good spot here where it won't be disturbed, but I think that would look just gorgeous to have some color on a tree in the summer. So that's why I took those. And the last one that I ordered were cosmos seeds. Now I have cosmos seeds. I also have saved some cosmos because they grow really well here. But this one I liked because of the colors, and the bi-color was so unusual. I thought, oh, those would be really pretty. So I will probably plant them. I usually plant the cosmos on either side of the garden gate, even though it's got morning glory climbing up and over beside it. I really like the cosmos. So I'm going to try this double click bi-colored violet. Maybe having a drink. So I think they'll be really pretty. So that's my seed haul for this year. I'm very excited. Some of them will be a bit of an experiment or a challenge, and others I'm really, really interested to see how different varieties do on our property, because that's half the fun, isn't it? Boy, he's thirsty. You almost done, Louis? Because everybody's property is different, and with our sort of wet conditions here, you know, which seeds will do the best, especially with my struggle with tomatoes. Speaking of which, here are some of the seeds that I am never going to grow again. First, tomatoes. Because I have so much trouble with them, I need blight resistant tomatoes. I have tried some hybrids and they did fairly well, but I would like to have some tomatoes where I can save the seeds myself. So 2 of them that I have tried over the years have not done well at all, and one of them was called Sophie's Choice. Sophie's Choice tomatoes, when I had 3 different varieties planted, they were the first to succumb to any kind of blight. I didn't get any tomatoes off of them. So if you have sort of wet conditions like I do, I did not have any luck with this one. So Sophie's Choice tomato, I'm never growing again. And the other one is the one I tried last year. If you saw my garden, the Silvery Fir tree tomato was a disaster. It succumbed so quickly to the blight or leaf spot, whichever it is, in my garden that I got nothing off of them. I think because the leaves are so cut, they're so feathery, I think maybe that's why they couldn't stave it off, because the blight or leaf spot affected the leaves so quickly. There wasn't any leaf surface left to, you know, feed the plant. So that could be why. It could be that they're a very delicious tomato and they'll do super well for someone else, but in this area, no more. The other thing I'm not going to grow here anymore, I don't think anyway, on the 8th concession is cauliflower. Now, I grew these and I got them to grow. They germinated fine. I transplanted them. I got a plant out of them. But cauliflower is tricky. It's tricky to get a nice big head. It's tricky to keep it white. I think you have to tie the leaves closed over top of it. And it just wasn't worth the space they take up and the trouble that it was to keep them there. Also have a lot of pests that invade them. So I didn't actually get any eating cauliflower off of it. I got the plants to grow, but if I'm going to use up space in my garden, I want to actually harvest something out of it. So I think for me, cauliflower is not a good use of the limited space I have in my garden. So not for me. Radish. Oh, radish are so easy to grow. They're a great seed for beginner gardeners. If you are new to gardening and you want something that's pretty much guaranteed to grow and will grow quickly, try radish. The reason I'm not going to grow radish has nothing to do with how easily or well it grows in my garden. It's because we just don't eat a lot of radish. I don't like the taste of them. At one point I thought I would try roasting them. I saw on someone else's channel that they roasted them and said they were delicious. But for me, it just wasn't worth it. Craig is the only one who would eat a radish now and then, and it was so seldom that it's just not worth taking up the space for something I'm not going to eat a lot of. And that is something I've had to take into consideration over time in my garden. I have a lot of space here. I could continue to expand my garden if I wanted to, but I don't want to because it'll be that much more work. I have to find a good balance in my garden. I think everyone needs to find a good balance where you're producing the food that you want to eat, that grows well in your area, but that is not so much work that you are overwhelmed and gardening becomes so much of a chore that you kind of dread doing it. I want to keep my garden growing the items that grow well, that we look forward to eating, or serve some other purpose in terms of beauty or color or bringing in pollinators. And radish for me just don't fit the bill. So that's my seed haul for this year. It's so much fun to think of the garden coming up and the new varieties I'm going to try. Trying to work on some of the problems I have in my garden, but also just some new varieties for some different colors, some different flavors. Also for some fun and challenges like the alpine strawberry and the crabapple tree. I'm just thinking about what the garden will look like. Right now it seems very, very far away, especially on a day like today where the wind out the living room window is just blowing snow everywhere. But it will come around quickly, and in a few days I'm going to actually start my first indoor seeds. I've kind of put it off a bit. I found in other years I've done it too early, and then the plants really are sort of struggling to hang on before they can get in the garden because the garden just doesn't warm up quickly enough. But I am going to be starting my onions and my leeks and a whole bunch of flowers. I really want to bump up the number of flowers that I grow from seed this year. I have so many seed packets, so that will be fun to see the garden just come to life with color and produce and birds and insects. It's something to look forward to. Hope you're looking forward to your garden too. Bye for now.